I wouldn't actually say that the online identity is a separate identity than the in real life identity, IRL. I would say that it's a broader target zone. Like if you think of an identity as kind of a circular pattern, the focused center is kind of what you present in certain circumstances. Like it's very narrowed, considering the social context of the environment you're in. Like you would narrow your personality down to what's acceptable for a job interview, or when you're conversing with your parents, or when you're conversing with your friends. But on the internet, it's a little more nebulous, and you're free to be a little broader, a little looser. You can play things kind of by ear.
Me being a little older, I am myself online, and it could factor in the way I was brought up. To be yourself, and you know, parents always kept me encouraged and always be comfortable with yourself. So I have nothing to hide.
You can love something so much, but other people who are around you in real life can sort of make fun of for whatever you love, but then you can go online, and there are places like Tumblr and MuggleNet, and like all these places where you can find people who are just obsessed with whatever it is as you are. So you can find happiness and with them, and they may live half the world away from you, but you have a common interest, and that interest unites you, and you can talk about whatever that is.
Am I allowed to swear on this thing?
Yeah.
You can say F, yeah, whatever.
Well, I guess. Okay, well, you know, euphemism is pretty indicative, but there's a huge genre of Tumblrs that start with F yeah, whatever. Like F yeah, UMW.
Yeah.
F yeah, Virginia. F yeah, Southern Girls. F yeah, science. F yeah,
certain people.
Volcanoes. I mean, basically, if it's something that exists in the world, there's a group of people that are into it, and they'll learn all there is about to learn. Like they'll learn all there is about it. They'll post it. They'll share it. They'll tell people about. They'll obsess about it. They'll like I'm following several political blogs right now that just reblog all.
Yeah, Mitt Romney.
Yeah, basically, like they just reblog all the things that Santorum says, and they're like, Santorum says. Because his name is now a euphemism for something deeply unpleasant. So, Santorum says basically means deeply unpleasant things that Santorum says. And it's a way to make a group of people who might not actually seek out legitimate news sources. It's a way that they can be incidental.
Because there are people that are shy, and there are people that want to escape and go into something more maybe adventurous. Or go into something that out of the norm.
They're fandoms of Sherlock, Glee, Harry Potter, whatever, that people around the world love, but the people who are in their own personal social circles may not understand why people are obsessed with whatever it is. And they can go on Tumblr and have friends who follow them on Tumblr and who they follow, where something happens on an XYZ TV show, and they can spend the entire next week talking about it because it's the most important thing in their world. Yet the people who they live with, eat with, hang out with in person couldn't care less. You Google.
Do you really want to go there?
You Google X Tumblr, and you'd be surprised. Like there are Tumblrs like devoted to people's body parts that you can just like it's like so and so's smile, so and so's ears.
You follow the people that have interest in blogs. Like there's several different kinds of posts that you can make: text posts, image posts, video posts, audio posts, chat posts, which are transcriptions of conversations, links which take you directly to another website. So you type in your commentary, and the entire like commentary that you type in is basically a link to another website. So people are able to explicate their opinions and just kind of air them out for all of the internet to see, and people find them and like them and start following them, and just tune in every time that this person with this is they've claimed this little piece of the internet, and they get to stand there and just like shout their opinions out, or listen for other people's opinions and say, well, that sounds like a good idea. I think I'll spread that to my followers.
Right.
And it just spreads. And the way you develop a deeper relationship is you just get a conversation going. And it's as easy as meeting someone in a cafe who's wearing a political t-shirt. Tumblr's actually a little bit restrictive when it comes to asking after asking.
Right.
But you can download things like Missing E, which is like a widget for Tumblr.
Mm-hmm.
It's like because Tumblr doesn't have the E, so it's called Missing E.
Right.
It fills in the gaps.
Right.
It's like a mod where you can reply to a reply to a reply to a reply. So you'll see these threads on Tumblr that just go on
And that's
on
where you start
and
to
on.
see real conversations.
You see little groups emerging. They're more like nodules. Like you don't really see like a deep friendship between two people that is exclusionary
Right.
to the other people in the group. What you see is you kind of see. Has anybody heard of a BNF, like a big name fan? What you'll see is I was part of a fandom where you have like the core group of fans, and then you have the usual suspects, which is like a tighter group of fans, and then within that you have the BNFs, and they kind of run the show.
Right.
And like the people who are actually participating in the series or the artwork or the whatever it is, like the production company, that they actually communicate with the BNFs. I remember on the set of Serenity the movie, they named one of the guns after Lux. What was his name? Lux Luthor or something. It wasn't Lex Luthor, but it was like Lux something or other. They named one of the guns after him because he was a fan who was in direct communication with some of the production members. The same thing happened with Supernatural, a girl that just people followed on Tumblr because she had good artwork. She wrote good stories. She made funny comments. She suddenly came down with a severe case of endometriosis. Thank you, endometriosis. Blogged about it. It garnered enough attention from the people that were following her that they reposted it and reposted and reposted. And she hadn't asked for any of this. But she woke up the next morning with $24,000 in a bank account for her surgery because she was uninsured. And Kim Rhodes, who plays Sheriff Mills on this television show that she's fanning for, sends her the name and number of her personal doctor and says that this man will work with her on the costs to make sure she can afford the surgery. And everybody cried.